Hello, internet people. Mostly what I do in here is talk about music, records, whatever format. Um, Today I'm going to talk about film a little bit. Just like, the Amoeba series where they have a famous musician and they pick out music and show it and you find out new stuff like this. I learn about a lot of films I'm interested in from the Criterion Closet series. They'll have a famous actor on there and pick out some films, usually some you've heard of and one or two you haven't. So that piques my interest most of the time. And so I've been most interested in the Criterion foreign films. The first one of those that I picked up was The Warped World of Koriyoshi Kurihara. This is Criterion Eclipse Series 28, and it contains 5 films: Intimidation, The Warped Ones, I Hate But Love, Black Suns, probably the most famous of them, and Thirst for Love. I'm going to attempt to video little clips. I'm going to try it with a little bit of sound and talk over it and see if I can get away without a copyright thing. I think it's should be okay since it's all for educational purposes. Anyway, I'm going to cut here and then we'll talk about that. The first film in this series is Intimidation from 1960. This is a little bit of pretty much a straight copy of American noir style film, very similar to Alfred Hitchcock and those type movies. I think this is just mostly included to contrast against the next film. The Warped Ones, also from 1960, probably is my favorite of these films. None of his films in this series have like a great story. It's really mostly just like action, sort of a style of a substance type of a film. This one's also a sort of a gritty black and white noir style. And right off the bat, he introduces his obsession with jazz, which is pretty consistent throughout all the films from here on out. So right there we have the two main characters have just been released from reform school and they're out. You see one of them is trying to catch the sun in his mouth and they're terrorizing some other young women. So that just sets the tone for this. One thing I'm not sure of is, are we supposed to be rooting for these two young men or is this just a story at this point? So this part here illustrates the basic style. I believe is heavily influenced by the French New Wave. You know, handheld, very sharp cuts, lots of action and movement in the frame. Just really what I like the most about it. 1962 gives us I Hate But Love, the first foray into color film that is shown here. Again, we have the chaotic driving, which is sort of a staple for him, as well as the jazz from here on out. So this one has a little bit more of a story, a little bit more of a love story. It's a little convoluted, and in my opinion, it's just an excuse to show a bunch of chaotic driving. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just my overall take about the whole box set. It's just that generally these are style over substance, and that's okay. From what I can tell, the most widely and most seen film in America of his is Black Sun. This one is very good. It does have some problems, though, in my opinion. Maybe the best music yet because it's Max Roach. Of course, we've got to work in plenty of car rides here. Trigger warning, a record and a dog is harmed in this film.
Close the curtain! Close the curtain! 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 It treated like all others! おめえジャズが嫌いなのかそんなわけはねえよなそんなわけはねえよ俺はどんな時でもこいつを聞くと気分が落ち着くんだよおめえだってそうだろ
Well, that was an American GI in the scene with him. I'm not going to tell the whole story on this one just in case some of you do want to see it. This one does probably have the best story of the bunch. On contrast, best music, and on the other side, little cringy as far as the race relations, some of the race relations stuff in the film. Of course, I have to keep in mind this is filtered through 1960s era Japanese viewpoint. So, but to my viewing now, a little cringy on some of those aspects of it. Black Sun was in 1964. In 1967, he's still going back to black and white for Thirst for Love. This is the final and latest film in the box set here. Now, in looking for a clip here, I realized I have not actually seen this one, so I'll be watching this one this evening. But just from that first clip there, I can tell it's a little more of a steady hand, although he is using some of these rapid, chaotic cuts still. I believe this is adapted from a novel, so it's probably going to have the best story yet. And that brings us to when he moved on to a more mainstream period, I believe. Going to try to keep this just under 10 minutes. That's what I have for the first one. The next box set I will review is going to be Czech New Wave. And so it's probably going to take me a few weeks to watch all those, and we'll continue on.